Hi guys, my name is Daisy. Welcome back to The King and the Flower. This video is some fairly raw footage from my classroom. I think it was very helpful for my students to see this tutorial, so I decided to share it. I'm just going to go ahead and let it play, and I would love to get any feedback from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. When it comes to pinch pots, there are a few things that you should know. It's very important that you try to make them as even as possible, that you make them as smooth as possible, and that you consider what shape you want them to be at the end while you're pinching. So if I want it to be wide, then I'm going to be pinching it further and further out. If I want it to be tall, then I kind of want to move in that direction. So keep that in mind. I'm going to open this up the way that I would if I had really long nails, because it also makes it a little bit easier. So I'm going to push my tool through, and then I'm going to rotate it in a circle. If you do it with your thumb, push your thumb through and then rotate the clay in a circle. So whether you have a tool or whether it's your hand, you're kind of doing the same thing. Okay. Now if I look at my clay, I notice that up here I have more clay on this wall, and down here I have more clay on this wall. And there's a little bit less on this side. So I need to remember that when I'm pinching. I need to pinch less here than I would here to make the walls even, which is a goal that I have. Now I'm going to pinch and rotate the clay in my hand. And I'm thinking, okay, this side is thicker, so I'm going to pinch more. This side is thinner, I'm going to avoid it and go to the sides that are thicker. At the bottom, you need to make sure that it is not too thick. So sometimes you can hold it in your palm. Don't use your table. Hold it in your palm and kind of push your thumb into the clay, and you're squeezing it. You're kind of compressing the clay between your thumb and your hand right here. So you're squeezing, and it allows the clay to move around. I'm getting a lot of cracking at the lip, so I can take my clay, tap it on the table, and then smooth out the lip a little bit. You can use a little bit of water to do this, bless you, but your clay should be very plastic, so it should be able to heal on its own. You're kind of healing those little stress marks that are coming up from the clay stretching. And then you'll pinch again, rotate, and this time it's all fairly even, so I'm just going to pinch all the way around. Look at your clay and look at what it needs. It might need something different than mine. And I'm just going to expand mine out. And I'm going to go on the outside and smooth out the cracks because I want something that's going to be nice and smooth. How thick do you think we want the walls?
Centimeter.
How thick? Describe it. The thickness of a pencil. If I get it thinner and it's sturdy, that's better. But I think in the beginning, aiming for the thickness of a pencil is pretty good. Mine's thinner. That's better, but it will make it a little bit more weak. So if you have trouble keeping it together, making it the thickness of a pencil might help. If your clay dries out, then you can put it back in one of the bowls and then leave it for 4th hour to wedge. But don't do too many and dry out all the clay that you wedged. That kind of defeats the purpose, okay? I'm going to cut mine in half so you can look at the walls, okay? Check it out. You can do this to yours too if you want. Take your clay cutter and like just slice straight down, and then look at the wall What do you notice about mine?
It's not straight.
Yeah, it's a little wonky, like right here at the lip. What else do you notice? Well, yeah, I cut it in half. But look at the wall.
Oh, one of them is thick. They're uneven, like the walls uneven.
Where?
The bottom one is smaller, like thinner than the other one. Or like when you're holding it, like it looks like the one of the walls is smaller than the other.
So this one?
No.
This one?
Yeah. The bottom is thicker.
Yeah, the bottom is thicker.
Oh.
It's just by a little bit. Not too much though. It's not like terribly thick. Cut yours open and see. Is the bottom thicker? How thick is it? Is it as thick as a pencil? It might be okay. If it's thicker than a pencil, then you have to practice. Practice, practice, practice. And then get a feel for it. Oh, that's what it feels like for it to be that thick right there. Oh, that's what it feels like for it to be that thin right there. Get a feeling for it. This is all about, it's like not just your eyes that are working out right now, it's your like sense of touch. You know, you don't, sometimes because we're so like technology focused, we lose our sense of touch. Like our grandparents probably worked with their hands 100 times more than we did. I know my grandparents did. My grandparents had a farm. They had a rancho, and they had like cattle and like all this other stuff. Like they garden all the time. They had crops that they made and ate. They grew and ate, you know. They still do. Like they have a little home in Mexico, and when they go and they stay there in the winter time, they grow nopales, which is like this edible cactus. It's really, really good. And yeah, they work with their hands a lot. Now, like the only time we work with our hands is when we're on our phones, right? Typing, texting. So you gotta like revive that sense of touch. When you were little, that's how you experienced the world. You touch things. That's why your parents got mad at you. I know, because I get mad at my son. Don't touch that. But he's learning. That's how you learn. So you kind of have to go back to that toddler self that's touching things and learning things through touch. Does anybody have one done and want to test it and see if it's a good one? Seth, I'm going to have to destroy it, but I can check it. Can I destroy it? I have to cut it in half. Yeah. Do you want me to? Okay, come on up. Thank you for volunteering. Okay, you can cut it. Here. Okay, set it on here. Put it upside down.
Upside down.
Okay. Now you're going to take this and you're going to slice it in half. Okay.
That's good.
Now, Seth, this is what we were aiming for. All right, tell me what needs to happen. Either way. There. Seth, what do you need to do?
Make it small.
Yeah, make it thinner. So pinch harder. Look at this. Watch like you, and you can do this after you slice it in half. Put your thumbs and your fingers around it, and then pinch to see how hard do you have to pinch in order to get it that thin.
Well, I'm too close to the camera.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So pinch and then try to get it as thin as you need it to be. Usually, it's this corner right here. Like right here, people have trouble with this corner. I don't know why. For some reason, this always gets to be too thick. I'm so sorry, Seth. Go ahead.
How do you pinch it without it going up?
Oh, you have to just like, you have to like train your senses to see when too much
So
is
it's
too
confidence?
much. No, it's not confidence, it's practice. So squeeze it and look, oh, that's too much pressure. It's squeezing it too thin. Oh, that's too little. I need to squeeze it more. It takes some like manipulation.
Perfect.
And yeah, there you go. That's much better. See, you got to train your senses to know how that feels. You're learning how, kinesthetically, you're learning how something feels if it's too thick or too thin. So go back and take both of these, add a little water, and then wedge them together and start again. Try again.